who just joined us, who is the spokesperson of the ANC Youth League in the country, and of course also a member of parliament. We're going to be crossing over into the Dome. We call it the Dome, and it's literally a black dome, which speaks to the masses, the majority of this country, the majority of young people in this country. Whether you're black, Indian, Chinese, colored, you are classified as a black person, and this dome represents that. It's a black dome that encompasses all these great minds, young minds ready to change the future. I'm Malika. We'll be right back as we cross over into the Dome and see what's happening in the stage. The SG is about to address each and every delegate that is here. The entire country is in Kimberley. It is the second General Council of the African National Congress Youth League held in Kimberley. This is the third and final day. Tomorrow, there'll be a massive rally in celebration of the young minds and the ideas that were put together for the past 3 days as they've been chatting and they've been talking. As you've heard, this is a midterm review of taking stock where we are as a country, where we are as young people. Are we doing what we said we will do as the leadership was elected about 2.5 years ago? It's just in the middle of the elective conference that will be coming up. The historic second General Council of the ANC Youth League. We're heading over to the Dome. As you can hear, maybe somebody is speaking on the stage. Let's find out what's happening. We'll be right back.
Spamandla ID lost and found, comrades. Comrades, provincial delegations must sit according to the allocation they were given. Provincial delegations must sit according to the allocations. Okay, let's get an indication of Mandla. Comrades of Northwest, are you there? Northwest? Eastern Cape? Mpumalanga? Free State? Northern Cape? KwaZulu-Natal? Limpopo? Gauteng? So comrades, we still have a problem in KwaZulu-Natal. We must call out the delegation of KwaZulu-Natal to come in, and Limpopo, and Gauteng. Western Cape? Proper. There's a delegation of KZN, Provincial Secretary of KZN, can you come to the Presidium as we have requested? Gauteng 2, Limpopo, Bogo. We want to start, comrades, but we want to start with now the outline of the discussion documents which are going to be done by the drafting committee. We want to start, comrades, but we want the provincial delegation to come inside now. Mandla. So comrades, we are going to give the drafting committee to make a summary of the outline of the discussion document, just overview on each topical issue that we are going to be running today. Comrade Kutwan, can you take the podium? I'm you can't.
There's no issue, just that the laptop is slow. It relies on The summary. Can I send you something so that you write it? Laptop. So that there are no problems.
Mandla. Mandla. Comrades of Bumbanga, we're about to start now. Yeah, ayihlale phansi bamba umthetho.
Ngawubitsa. What we spoke about.
Amandla! 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 Viva President Colin! Viva! Viva President Colin! Viva! Viva President Colin! Viva! Viva ANC Youth League! Viva! Viva ANC Youth League! Viva!
Thank you very much, comrades. I'm tasked with a very important responsibility, and that is in the absence of what we could have done in the earlier session, which was to discuss and present to you the discussion documents on behalf of the National Executive Committee. I know for a fact that the Secretary General would have circulated the documents to all provinces, regions, and members of South Africa for them to have a contribution and to start discussing some of the inputs that we would have presented to this plenary. But I want to make an emphasis, comrades, that the discussion document that we are presenting, the summary that I'm going to present to yourself, because the in-depth discussion, you do have it on your phones. So the summary of the discussion document emanates from the resolutions that you will have taken from the 26th National Congress. And the process that we have done is just to reinforce some of the resolutions that have been taken, and at times assess some of the resolutions that have been taken into their functionality and whether they are still applicable in this current juncture. And where there is an opportunity that we need to change a bit of tactics in between, we have done that. So, comrades, I will not go deep into the document, but the first part that I'm going to be presenting to yourselves is the first chapter of the discussion document on organizational renewal. So if you will go to it on your phones, you will see that we started with a very important quote from Amilcar Cabral about what we want to shape around the discussion around organizational renewal. And the quotation, as it were, reflects, and I quote, it says, "We should recognize as a matter of conscience that there have been many faults and many errors in our work, execution thus far, whether political or military. An important number of things, and this is what we need to to emphasize.
Revolutionary greetings once again, South Africa. Welcome to another electrifying edition of the ANC TV. And this time around, it's an official platform, an official voice of the African National Congress Youth League nationally and in all provinces. It does not matter where you're watching from. If you're watching from the Gauteng or the Capricorn province of Limpopo or the province of the Rising Sun, which is in Mpumalanga, or you're in the Platinum province of the Northwest, or you're in the Free State, the Northern Cape, the diamond capital, the mineral capital of the world, or the shores of the Western Cape, the Eastern Cape, and KwaZulu-Natal. Welcome. This is the platform where young people will be sharing ideas. We are at the second ANC Youth League General Council, the historic one. In 81 years of the Youth League's existence, this is the only second one, which is historic. We're expecting one next year. We're expecting one maybe, the third one after the election or the conference, National Conference of the Youth League. So it's a midterm report, sort of, to say, let's take stock. Let's see what we have done, what we do need to improve. And the one thing is that this show is tailored for young people this time around, where they'll be engaging with us. The leadership of the Youth League will be coming through. Right now, today, they'll be going to commissions where they discuss. It'll be battle of ideas. Minds will be clashing in terms of ideas, how we can improve the economy of this country, how we can get young people employed. And these two goes together. You can never divorce them. As you've seen on our social media platforms, it has been a buzz of information, pictures, videos. Young people have arrived in the Northern Cape. We are in Kimberley, the diamond capital of the world. And of course, earlier on, we spoke to Fasiha Hassan Duma, who is the national spokesperson of the African National Congress Youth League and also a member of parliament. Very, very opinionated. Crucial minds will be clashing, and of course they will be discussing numerous issues pertaining to young people, which is one of their mandate, talking and engaging as young people around the issues of young people. They're saying economic freedom right now, employment for young people right now, not only in their lifetime but right now, today. Quite a difference between the generation of before in terms of young people and the generation of today. Yes, we have acquired political freedom in 1994 when all of us took to the streets and stood in that queue and voted for the democratic government for the very, very first time. We'll be crossing over once again to the Dome, where young people, 4,500 young people gathered together under a black dome. How symbolic. Let's cross over into the Black Dome onto the podium. We'll be right back in a short while.
Saying, comrades, that the ANC Youth League is quite, in their own analysis, making a very strong point around the issue of the social distance and the isolation of the party from the masses. And as a result, there are particular inputs that we would have made around the process that we wish to undertake around the recruitment and selection and the application of new members within the movement. And as a result, we had also spoken about segmenting the membership base between the membership and the supporters around the recruitment process. So the critical policy that we want to take is to also assist the movement, because there are people within our own movement or membership base that really would not want to be members of the movement, but they are fine enough to be supporters, because at times you find a conjuncture between the membership and the support system, and at that point you end up finding a supporter being a leader and a membership being a disgruntled person. So the segmentation of the leadership component and the recruitment process needs to be taken such that you actually separate the wheat from the chaff. And actually, as you recruit members, you recruit them for what is worth. So recruiting them for what is worth also explains the structural process that we are going to be undertaking for a person to be a member. So for a person to be a member of this organization, you cannot only rely on a membership process for them to be a member. The membership process, we have analyzed that is not enough. Because once a person recruits, and the possibility of recruitment in mass is that some of the members or some of the applicants, their membership is not vetted, and some of the people that are quite invited into the movement. And as a result, we have a problem with people that we have joined, that have criminal records, cases of GBVF, and many other of that sort. So we're making a point, comrades, that we really need to look at the recruitment process that we are going to be undertaking, and the recommendation that we are putting for you to discuss, to say that the recruitment process needs to be overhauled such that the organization itself is able to exist beyond where we are. Now, another problem that we have, comrades, is that there's an over-reliance on the cadre policy of the ANC, and the ANC Youth League has not formed its own cadre policy. And the cadre policy must stipulate not only the foundational courses in which members of the ANC Youth League needs to undertake from the OR Tambo School of Leadership and the ANC itself, but the ANC Youth League has a subcommittee on political education. And the political education subcommittee needs to have a clear analysis of the curriculum content of the membership base in young people that are brought in within the structures of the Youth League. That membership system will obviously lose what Comrade SG spoken about, the learning management system. Because some of the students or some of the members of the Youth League that are brought into the fold are people that are coming from universities, that are coming from high schools, some are coming from not in education and training facilities. So we need to have a clear distinction around the training and cadre policy of our movement so that we can be able to create a better cohort. So the ANC Youth League, as we are sitting now, has an over-reliance, and we have seen with the stats that has been presented by the SG. Members of the ANC Youth League did not go to the foundation courses, and membership of the ANC do not go to the OR Tambo School of Leadership and participate and finish the courses. So a clear distinction between the onboarding, between the cadre policy of the ANC Youth League and the onboarding to the OR Tambo School of Leadership documents, we need to find a synchronization. And from that, we are presenting to you that the political education subcommittee is going to develop a cadre policy that will speak about the skills, the attributes, and the technical capabilities that were needed in the ANC Youth League, but not only in the ANC Youth League, but also in the ANC and its government, so that we can be able to take our own movement forward. So this, because we do not have our own cadre policy, it further assists in the institutional factionalism, the ill-discipline, disunity, and inspired battles that are fueled by state resources. So once the ANC Youth League members are deployed in government, they cease to be there on behalf of the ANC ticket, but they are there on behalf of the ANC. Now the ANC Youth League cannot take responsibility once the deputy president of the ANC Youth League, who's a deputy minister, is falling short or experiencing challenges, whether personally or organizationally. So we are unable to tap into those cadre policy to be able to assist some of our members to better work the movement, but also flourish in the work that they do. So at times we will have had members of the ANC Youth League that will have had challenges in some of the duties that they are performing, and the ANC Youth League do not have a fallback position to say what is it that can be done on behalf of the ANC Youth League to ensure that there is recourse around their behavior, so that they ensure that as they are there on behalf of the ANC Youth League, they represent the structure to the best of their capabilities. So we're asking a question that is simple at the end, and we're saying that as we are sitting now, what kind of ANC Youth League in content and in form that we seek to build, that will be able to realize the economic freedom now and not later. And this plenary must also debate what kind of ANC Youth League will be best positioned to advance the realization of economic emancipation in our lifetime, and what kind of leadership and membership is required to fulfill these tasks. How should the organization be structured, and how should it function to carry out these duties? And that question will also be hard hit if we debate around the issues of that recruitment process, the issues of the onboarding into being a member of the Youth League, and the final process, which is to be a leader of the ANC Youth League. Now, comrades, that is insofar as the organizational renewal is concerned. And as you will know, comrades, just to reinforce this point, is that for us to build a better country, we need to have a better organization. And for us to have a better organization or build a capable organization, there must be a form of discipline within the structure. So, comrades, we will never be able to have a better organization if we are not disciplined. And the emphasis on the cadre policy gives much emphasis on discipline, work ethic, morale, and ethics, so that we are able to build a better organization. And finally, as we build a better organization, we are going to be able to build a better country in which all of us are going to live in. Another point that we thought that it is important for discussion by the plenary is on international relations and the balance of forces. Comrades, there is a growing instability across the globe. And some will be seeing around the tensions that are happening from what is happening. Amandla! Amandla!
Sithetintwenye siyavumelana 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 Sithetintwenye siyavumelana siyavumelana Sithetintwenye siyavumelana kanjani sizobalanda hamba sizobalanda hamba sizobalanda hamba sizobalanda hamba sizobalanda Comrades, let us sing from our provinces. Let us not move. Let us just sing from our provinces where we are seated. Izobalanda kanjani? Hamba, sizobalanda. Hamba. Sizobalanda hamba Amandla. Comrades, let us sing a revolutionary song to welcome the Secretary General of the ANC. Izobalanda kanjani ama i-ANC izobalanda hamba ANC izobalanda hamba ANC izobalanda Viva ANC, 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 viva! Amandla! Viva Secretary General of the ANC, viva! Mandla! Sizobalanda kanjani? ANC sizobalanda. Mandla awethu uzundibhale Phala no phala uzundibhale Phala no phala uzundibhale na Phala no phala Aluzundibhale Phala no phala uzundibhale na Phala no phala uzundibhale Mandla awethu awethu Mandla Mandla viva ANC 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 viva viva ANC ANC viva uzamana nomoya wami, uzamana nenhliziyo yami.
Manja. Manja. Mahlale phansi bamba umthetho. Amandla. Amandla. Awethu. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. Amandla. Awethu. Viva resi utlik, viva. Viva resi utlik, viva. Uzothola kanjani? Fele khoneni. Uzothola kanjani? Lekhoneni. Viva resi, viva. Viva resi, viva. Amandla. Awethu. Comrades. Amandla, comrades. 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 Limpopo and your Boko. You are going to put Boko in trouble. Comrades. Comrades. Comrade Boko. Comrade Petwell. Comrades. Comrades, Eastern Cape, Eastern Cape, comrades, Francisco, Comrades Faith, thank you very much, comrades. High moral. high discipline, high moral, high discipline. I know, comrades, we have a new energy now, but we have a long program. We must still conclude our commissions. We must still get reports from commissions. We must still receive a declaration from the SG of the Youth League. We must still receive a closing remark. Now I want to plead with you, comrades, that we try to be disciplined. Now, comrades, we've amended our program due to the National Executive Committee of the ANC that is sitting to accommodate the ANC leadership to come and address us. Comrades, we have a very successful NGC. And our NGC is the highest political school of the ANC Youth League. It's a meeting of the best minds of the Youth League in the country. Now that level of discipline must reflect in the NGC. Now, comrades, I'm here to introduce the former Secretary General of the ANC Youth League, the former President of the ANC Youth League. It's only him and Nelson Mandela who became SGs and President of the Youth League. Nomngana bongudle noma ngakhalela iminyaka ngeke mvumele. Noma ungaphupha nje uyikhalele Maduna. It might be very difficult because of biology. Comrades, we know we rotate songs, agree, my comrades. We have a law here that we have said, here SG, we don't just stand up and sing SG in our NGC. Provinces sing according to schedules. Now yesterday, we gave Limpopo, Northwest and KZN to sing. Now we're giving the Eastern Cape to start a song. Now, comrades, you know again, we all join the song. Now, comrades of the Eastern Cape, as we welcome the Secretary General of the African National Congress to come and address us and give blessings to the National General Council, Eastern Cape leaders of song.
One, two.
Amandla, Amandla. Amandla. Awethu. Mata. Thank you very much, President of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Colin Malachi, and the entire leadership of the ANC Youth League for a very successful General Council. The ANC Youth League of your leadership have done very well for itself. You organized the second General Council of the Youth League after a long political lull and disappearance of this structure. This General Council is a signification that the Youth League is back and is alive. Under the leadership of Colin Malachi and Comrade Ngudle, the Secretary General, and all the provinces of the ANC Youth League. I want to also thank you for choosing Northern Cape. Northern Cape is a special place and a special province of the ANC. Here in Northern Cape, the march for recovery of the ANC back into power is going on very, very, very well. Comrades, it has never happened that the ANC in our country can put up a dome for the ANC Youth League to hold its Congress. And we need to congratulate Zamani and the Northern Cape for a job well done. And the Youth League have descended here in the Northern Cape from all our provinces to this important Congress. We have never held a successful national event of the ANC in the Northern Cape. This is the first of its kind, and it's a test. Maybe the next Congress of the ANC National Congress will be held here in the Northern Cape. Comrades of the ANC Youth League, provincial leaders, and members of the ANC National Executive Committee, we deployed to this Congress Comrade Sihle Zikalala, the former SG of the Youth League, to lead the delegation of the ANC to this Congress. We deployed Comrade Lindin Chalinchali. We deployed Comrade Zuko Kodlimpi, Comrade Setheng Kabani, to join you in this Congress. And Comrade Alvin Porters. Andile Lungisa has come in his own right as a former DP of the ANC Youth League. So, comrades, the Deputy President of the ANC was here to deliver our message of the African National Congress in the opening of this Congress. And the DP in this Congress delivered our message of the National Executive Committee. The Secretary General is here on behalf of the NEC in the closing of your General Council. I was negotiating with the President that he must come tomorrow for the rally of the Youth League in Khalishiwe. Because tomorrow we are starting a very important meeting of the ANC. special National Executive Committee that will be focusing on local government. That NEC is very special and very important. It's the NEC that must produce the program of intervention for local government of the ANC. That meeting will culminate into a roll call of all our councillors in the country in Johannesburg on Monday. Comrades, it is with a sense of honor and privilege to partake in this very important occasion of the historic second National General Council of the ANC Youth League, which takes place at the time the ANC Youth League celebrates 81 years of its founding. As many of you would know, this was after the ANC National Conference of 1943, which reiterated its earlier decision that there must be a Congress Youth League. Today, our prime focus will be on the tasks of the ANC Youth League by summarily tracing the defining historical epochs in the evolution of the ANC Youth League since it was launched in 1944 up to the present. Throughout the history defining epochs, the youth of South Africa helped advance the struggle for freedom and democracy openly through the ANC Youth League and underground through Umkhonto weSizwe. Even when the Youth League was banned, together with the ANC, the historical moment of youth activism, as kick-started by the Youth League of 1944 generation, reverberated throughout history up to the present. Whilst the decision was made by the ANC in 1943 National Conference in Bloemfontein, the agitation for the formation of the Youth League was by the youth themselves. The idea to form the Youth League was the idea that came through a comrade called Mxolisi Majombozi, who was laid to rest in the Eastern Cape, Ekhobusana region. And we celebrated his life. Comrade Nelson Mandela told us that Mxolisi Majombozi, before the Youth League was formed, he came and muted the idea of the ANC Youth League. The ANC Youth League was a turning point in the history of the African National Congress. In their interpretation of the socio-economic and political conditions, it is the ANC, in their interpretation of the socio-economic and political conditions, the ANC Youth League of Umkhonto weSizwe. Therefore, the task of the youth of 1944 was to alter the trajectory of the struggle through radical and militant action, leading to the Defiance Campaign, inspired by the slogan, "Freedom in our lifetime." They rejected what they called trusteeship in favor of brand of African nationalism that was informed by the self-determination of the oppressed to free themselves from colonialism and later apartheid. Throughout the decades of struggle from Anton Limbede in 1944 to Peter Mokaba in 1994, the main task of the Youth League was to champion the freedom of the masses of our people from the yoke of apartheid bondage. It was against this that Solomon Kalushi Mahlangu declared in the face of the gallows on the 6th of April that my blood will nourish the tree that will bear the fruits of freedom. Tell my people that I love them. They must continue with the fight. On various stages of the struggle against apartheid, the youth of our country were faced with intensifying adversity, the Defiance Campaign, and so on. But they were at the helm in ensuring that we deepen defiance and the fight against apartheid in South Africa. Comrades, the electoral outcomes had the effect of altering South Africa's political landscape. With the advent of the government of national unity, this reality demands of us to sharpen our focus and put our best foot forward in using state power to make a better life for all and live the reality for all our people as we advance the objectives of the NDR. We don't have the luxury of infighting. We don't have the luxury of inward looking. The struggle to liberate our people is out there, and we are needed. And the ANC Youth League is going to be in the forefront and at the center of the struggle of ensuring that the ANC wins back power. Comrades, bickering and infighting and the choices of leadership you want is not what South Africans want. You may despise Mbalula and like Colin. You may despise that comrade and like that one. But South Africans are not looking that from us. They want leadership for real change for their lives. And the youth of South Africa need leadership from you. We don't expect Colin to speak like President Ramaphosa. We want him to lead the youth. But we don't want him to be reckless. We don't want directionless militancy. We want militancy that have got direction. We want conscious youth. That is why we have introduced the foundational course. That is why the Youth League have made the right calls. As you come here today, when government was amending regulations for credit in South Africa, it is the Youth League that started first and said, we don't agree with embedding with the youth with credit in South Africa. And hence our government have listened and have withdrawn that. And that was started by Colin Malachi and Guze in the Youth League press conference, the National Executive Committee of Youth League. Comrades, we don't want drum majorettes from the Youth League. We want the youth that is alive, that is militant, that is leading the youth struggles. You occupied the streets of Johannesburg. Millions of the youth came behind you and said, we want jobs, manje. In Johannesburg, you went to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And today, what is the battle cry of the youth in South Africa? And what is the battle cry of our people? It is unemployment. And that struggle was led by the Youth League. And that is why this General Council is important. Education is important. And the Youth League lead from the front. But education without consciousness and clarity of ideology, it means nothing to everyone else. Because universities will become ivory towers. And in this instance, we know that ivory towers can ideologically be contested. It is not correct, therefore, to leave them as such. It required the brain power of the militant youth of our country, led by the ANC Youth League. Comrades, it is important, like Frantz Fanon, famous words, declaring that each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. Speak to this reality as it has over the decades and history, defining epochs that I've alluded to. The evolution of the domestic political factors, underpinned by economic conditions and their interplay with geopolitical factors, set the tone for the tasks at hand that require decisive leadership. The theme of this NGC, pursuit of economic freedom and social change, now and not later, could not be more relevant. You must remember, comrades, that the idea and the slogan of economic freedom in our lifetime was muted by the first General Council of the ANC Youth League that was held in Midrand. And the ANC followed and said that the second transition and following the second century of the ANC, the most important task is economic freedom. And others went to form a political organization and they call it economic freedom. But that economic freedom was muted by the ANC Youth League. Comrades, the deepening crisis of youth unemployment requires us to build an economic model that places young people at the center across spectrum. Young people should not merely be recipients of such interventions, but should play a central role as its architects and midwives. They should lead the efforts to build a new economy where young people are on the driving seat. Mineral beneficiation, technology revolution that includes artificial intelligence, services, and many more. Young people must lead this economic revolution. This was partly the essence of the integrated youth development strategy, wherein youth development is not an afterthought, but an integral program of development at all levels. The ANC's 54th ANC National Conference resolved that the Youth League needs to diligently and progressively implement its twin tasks. Firstly, it must organize, mobilize, and educate young people behind the vision of the ANC and continue to be a political school for new generations. Secondly, it must champion the interests of young people in the ANC. These tasks mean that the Youth League must take up the challenges facing the young people of South Africa. This must posture the Youth League since 1994 because it recognized the youth were not only integral to the broader society, but were similarly influenced by it. The ANC strategy and tactics define the kind of youth league that can deliver this revolutionary task. Throughout its history, the Youth League has always been at the forefront of shaping public discourse, ideologically, politically, and in terms of championing youth development. We should never downplay the importance of the PYA as a vehicle to mobilize young people and rally them behind the Youth League and resolving the challenges that affect young people in all facets of life. When the ANC is under attack, the ANC Youth League must be the first line of defense without becoming sycophantic. Youth, socio-economic marginalization in general, and unemployment in particular, remains an intractable challenge that requires paradigm shift in the solutions we seek, underpinned by collective action, steeped on urgency to find lasting solutions. This extends to our overall approach to transformation, which is the primary driver of our efforts to improve the lives of our people, including delivery of basic services to our people across all spheres of government. Education remains the cornerstone of our social transformation and should be at the center of our youth development interventions. As Thomas Sankara, a Marxist-Leninist, once stated, the enemies of our people are those who keep them in ignorance. Our country needs educated youth to tackle youth unemployment, find innovative strategies and solutions to support entrepreneurship and ensure job creation. The age of technology provides immense opportunities for the youth. Realization of a better life for all is what the youth of 1976 fought for. However, the vandalizing of public infrastructure, including schools, clinics, and roads during service delivery protests, tells us that we have a lot of work to do in educating our people. The current moment requires us not only to produce a learned cadre, but also a committed one, similar to those nurtured at Solomon Mahlangu Freedom College, the ANC school in Tanzania. Comrades, the newly educated South African cadre will have to take us through the uncharted waters of the 21st century, characterized, among other things, by the Fourth Industrial Revolution, an era of unprecedented technological revolution, affecting every aspect of our lives, from healthcare, education, social interactions, and the economy. Education without political consciousness can be dangerous. Similarly, as a hired soldier who could fight in any frontier for a living, even if that frontier is counter-revolutionary. We have seen how eloquent young blacks have been deployed to counter the revolution by clothing it with a black skin and a false association with the interest of the masses of our people. As we forge a new path to accelerate the pursuit of economic freedom and social change now and not later, we should deepen our understanding of the national question, which remains a pervasive issue, an integral part in our pursuit for a democratic society. Tribalism, which the ANC fought against from its inception in 1912, also continues to rear its ugly head. As the late Dr. Chuba Okajibo, an intellectual and a philosopher, asserted, if you are emotionally attached to your tribe, religion, or political leaning to the point that the truth and justice become secondary consideration, your education is useless. Your exposure is useless. If you cannot reason beyond petty sentiments, you are a liability to mankind. Our efforts to decisively tackle poverty must not waver. We owe it to those who laid down their lives in the liberation struggle to ensure that our people live dignified lives. The generations that came before us defined their respective missions and carried them out with distinction. It is the task of the current generation to define its mission, execute it diligently in order for future generations to stand on your shoulders, drinking on the well of your wisdom in charting a bright future for generations to come. Ultimately, the struggle was about land. It was about the economy. Hence, the importance of continuously engaging government on progressive economic activities that empower young people so that they grow into adults that own the economy. That is why the Youth League must not tire in engaging government on youth economic empowerment. Youth unemployment will not decrease until the youth become employers. With regard to the blacklisting of students on account of tertiary education fees, we have, as the ANC, made it clear that the National Credit Act regulations constituted a flagrant violation of access to higher education and the role of higher education in employment creation, based on the principle of opening the doors of learning and culture, as advocated by the Freedom Charter. Access to education must not be used as hindrance to future economic opportunities. We therefore welcome the withdrawal of the regulations and call upon the private sector to continue to contribute to employment of young people and facilitate their entrance into the labor market without the impediments previously imposed by National Credit Act. We are in the same vein, say all laws that are a hindrance to accepting young people into employment must be done away with. Young people must get their experience of employment at the workplace, and that is what we must strive for. Young people must get the experience of employment at the workplace, and that is what is important. We remain emphatic that students should not be blacklisted for a debt owing to educational institutions. One of the most critical tasks of the Youth League is ensuring youth economic participation. This is linked to the twin tasks of the Youth League, which is to champion youth interest. The Youth League must internalize the agenda to renew organization and reposition it as the electoral choice of the masses of our people in the next year's local government elections. This task too is directly linked to the twin tasks, which is to mobilize the youth behind the vision of the ANC. As the ANC will continue to ensure that we win back the trust of our people through evidence of service delivery and broader national transformation. The immediate task, comrades, is to convene all our councillors in the roll call on Monday, 15 September 2025. In our endeavors to ensure that we provide speedy and effective service delivery to all our communities. This weekend we will convene a special National Executive Committee meeting that will deliberate on the marching orders that the President will deliver during the roll call. Comrades, this is not a rally of councillors. It is marching orders. If you don't execute the mandate of the ANC, ship out. And that is what is important. And this is what this roll call is all about. Comrades, the Youth League of Colin Malachi must be counted in the ANC as the Youth League that contributed in the renewal agenda of the ANC to undermine factionalism in our structures, to undermine gatekeeping, to ensure that the ANC is free to all. Comrades, that is going to happen with your assistance. Most of you will belong to the structures of the African National Congress. You are members. You participate in the branches of the ANC. As we march on, we must defend the revolution, defend the integrity of the ANC. We must fight corruption. We must not be counted as a statistic. The ANC have resolved on the fight against corruption. We are fighting, we are implementing decisions of the organization against corruption. Gone are the days when a comrade is accused of corruption, we sing along him or her on his way to court. Umntu nomntu makazimele ngenqa yakhe elangeni. Motho le motho a ikemele a le mong. Because ANC never sent us to government to steal. Those who steal, comrades, or who are accused, they must stand on their own. Youth League and all ANC structures, we must never prevaricate against corruption and ill discipline in our structures. We are very happy, Comrade Colin, about the conduct of your Youth League. And the provincial secretary was giving me a report, and the deputy president, that the Youth League is on the rise. Comrades, if the Youth League falters on discipline, doomed is the ANC. It means the ANC does not have a future. We all came from the Youth League. Me, yeah, when I come to the Youth League, I'm Secretary General, but I've come home. I walked this path, all the steps, Nabo Zigalal, and everybody else. We were all prepared by the ANC Youth League. And tomorrow, you will also benefit the ANC in terms of leadership from these ranks. And that is why we must follow and understand the foundational cause and internalize it when it comes to political discipline. In the ANC, you cannot be happy about everything. But you don't go around mobilizing negatively. You sit, you fight for what you believe is right where you are. People who do negative things, we know they don't last. You know, I was told when I was coming here that I was going to be booed by my comrades from Mpumalanga because they are not happy about Nhlanzini. Let me tell you, I run the ANC and I belong to a collective and nobody will intimidate me. You can boo me for decisions of the ANC, but angeke ungithunduze. Ngakhethwa econferenceni. I belong to a collective. You cannot use the platform of the ANC to come and boo the ANC Secretary General because you are unhappy about the outcome of a conference in Eslanzeni. That is wrong. That is an ANC. It is anti-revolution. It is reactionary. You must go backwards and understand where you are. This is a very important platform of young people. And this is a very important platform of the youth. Youth League in the ANC was banned for a long time. And it has come back. Look at how beautiful it is. It has come back. And comrades, this Youth League will never die, ever again. And that is why, when we came into office, our priority was to revive the Youth League. Safika la Youth League ifile inamatas team. Saivusele. Yanyula ulucha, it elected the youth which are within age. When you look at Colin, you don't have to ask, is he old or young? You can see he's young. He's very young, educated, and smart. And this is the youth of the ANC. And when you look at this NEC, look at them, I'm not patronizing them. You've got people here with masters. You've got people here who come from all walks. But most importantly, they are young. Mina comrades, I left the Youth League when I was 37. The last Youth League president before it collapsed, he was 37 and still fighting to remain. And Colin Malachi is the first president who can at least have 2 terms or even more. I'm not, but we are very proud of a young ANC Youth League. Hi, Youth League yamatheko namaxhewukazi. Comrades, I don't wish you well because the DP did that. Keep up the faith and lead the youth of the country because the youth want leadership. And you are providing it every day. Don't be deterred. From time to time, when we remind you, don't go out of line, don't be deterred. The Youth League will not go to DC under our watch. Because nothing esaya ku DC kudala. It will not go to DC. As the SG, I will not take Colin to DC. Bakhona abantu endizawubachutshisa. Not Colin. You know why? Because Colin is allowed to make mistakes. And therefore, whenever I make mistakes, like Khalima taught me and Sithe Zigalala, we must sit him down. Mchana ungaika khulu ngapha. But he's the president of the Youth League. And the president of the Youth League briefed me and the SG. They said, you want an early conference. You have agreed to that. So, Colin must go and find money for it. That early conference. But it must first be agreed by the ANC, NEC. And I'm going to report that to the NEC, that the Youth League want an early conference. And we will decide about it. As I conclude, comrades, the moment of now, as I conclude, if you forget everything I've said, the moment of now is to defend the revolution. The moment of now is to defend is to do what? The moment of now is to defend the revolution. Comrades, we are not in a good space. There are people who talk about succession in the ANC. Ubani nalo nalo. Don't follow people who run succession on WhatsApp groups. Abeko nase branchi na babandu. The discipline of the ANC says you must wait. We must go and win the election next year. Because if we don't win that election, we don't convince our people that the ANC as their vehicle that they believe in is still alive, the revolution is gone. Iphelile revolution. What leader of the ANC will you be? You will be a leader of the ANC in the opposition. Izabi ambile revolution. If you want any confusion, start with succession discussion. The other day, the Women's League was saying they want a woman president. And we called them and said, not now. At the right moment, if you want a woman president, you can say it. But not now. It will come. That will come at the right moment when it has to be discussed. No, listen. If you want to derail us, listen. If you want to derail us, get involved in that discussion. And comrades, it is important because most of you belong to the structures of the organization. We will have enough time to agree, to engage, to disagree on the matter of leadership. Let us focus on winning power. And that is going to be led by the ANC Youth League on the ground and all the structures of the organization. And that requires discipline and order in the ANC. You have never seen political parties, even the most disorganized, bangwapana in the streets. It's only us who like to dirty their linen in the public. You have had a good general council, which is going to produce the results. And that's what must be celebrated. And the youth here are going to hear what the Youth League does to fight for them. The withdrawal of this credit regulations by government, it is because of the ANC Youth League. And others are going to say, we started. Don't argue with them, leave them. Continue with what is right and champion the cause of the youth. The ANC Youth League was formed for that. And don't be misdirected. You are on course. You are on course 100%. And there is no other youth league either than this one. We must support SASCO. We must win all the campuses in South Africa. And I was very happy, Comrade Ngudle, the other day when we saw you convening the PYA. Those are real issues. We see the Youth League grappling with matters that affect the youth. Not only Amapiano is very important also, Amapiano. I saw Colin at Amapiano. I can't join him any longer. When I go to Amapiano, they say, hey, no baba kagugi lo. Kuthiwa ugugu othandayo. But Amapiano is nothing else but it's a popular culture that has evolved over time. And our association with the popular culture has never been about popularity. It has always been about how we understand the youth of South Africa, who have defied all odds and said we don't want to be like Americans. We have our own identity. And that is why Kwaito came into being. That is how Amapiano has come into being and has become a global genre in the whole world, coming from South Africa. It's because the youth, said we can rap, we can do anything, but we don't want to be like Americans. That is why they even rap in their own language. Kastonga, Kaspedi, Gestos. Because they are just not mimicking and robots. And that's why you have Maphorisa, Kabza De Small, and many others. And today, exporting a global genre coming from South Africa. And that is why the Youth League must understand that particular context. It's very important. So, comrades, I want to thank you for the opportunity of being here. As the ANC, we support this General Council, its outcome, it's a revolutionary standing in our society. And we thank the comrades of the Northern Cape for supporting this particular General Council. And comrades, keep the discipline. You have kept the discipline, and we thank you for that. It means the Youth League is alive, the Youth League is back. And that is the message I'm carrying to the NEC tomorrow. Amandla! Awethu! Uzoyithola kanjani? Uhlele khoneni? Ayeye Colin Malachi, ayeye! Ayeye ANC Youth League, ayeye! Pata ANC, pata! Kokela ANC, kokela! Amandla! Roar, young lions, roar! Roar, young lions, roar!
Savumela, savumela. Siphethi intwehle savuma. Savuma. Siphethi intwehle savuma. Siphethi intwehle savuma. Umandela tayihlome. Umandela tayihlome hlasele. 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 Umandela Taishomi. Umandela Taishomi Shasele. Umandela Taishomi. Umandela Taishomi Shasele. Umandela Taishomi. Umandela Taishomi Shasele. Manja, 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 manja. Away two, Amanja. Comrades, Secretary General of the ANC, former SG and President of the Youth League, we thank you very much for coming to our National General Council. This is an historic National General Council. And I think we must clap hands for ourselves. We have also SG. I forgot to one last briefing. The ANC LGC requested the Youth League to withdraw the apology of Tea Party. They are saying that it's a Tea Party. Now, next time I speak, it's no longer my resolution, it's a resolution of the NGC. Now, the apology is withdrawn. Comrades, we've also requested the SG to release the president tomorrow to come and address our celebration. Now, comrades, in less than 4 days, would have been addressed by almost. We are a very serious ANC Youth League. If you don't take us serious, it's at your own risk. Even Comrade Mbalula, Comrade Andile Lungisa, they've never had 4 officials addressing them every day. Now, SG, we pray that you succeed, because we've already committed to the youth here that the president addresses. But also the president has made a message for us. I request that before we move further, Comrade SG, we've also agreed to the SG of the Youth League that we'll have this hall will be a commission for all the commissions. Now, no one is going to go out. When we are done with the messages, those who must come and report and all of those things, everything will happen here, discussion will happen here. We attempted the breakaway commissions, SG. It was very difficult. And the ANC leadership that went to those commissions, they saw that it was nearly empty. Then we agreed to the SG that this must be the platform that we must use for that process. Now, Comrade Zama, I'm requesting that you, with your team, you play the message from the president of the ANC.
Comrade President of the ANC Youth League, Colin Malachi, the officials of the ANC Youth League, and all delegates to your National General Council. I I'm so delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate you all for holding what I believe is emerging as an extremely successful National General Council. This is a defining moment for the ANC Youth League, that you have succeeded since you held your conference to stabilize the ANC Youth League, to establish structures, your regions, in the provinces, as well as your branches. This is a phenomenal achievement since the ANC Youth League has been dogged by a number of divisions, a number of problems and challenges. You, as the new leadership of the ANC Youth League at national, provincial, regional and branch level, are proving to be the real comrades who will lead not only the ANC Youth League, but the ANC itself and the country in the coming years. You are building a strong foundation for what the ANC Youth League should be and what the ANC should be. The renewal project that we were mandated by a conference to embark upon is showing fruit. It is showing progress, and we now need to continue consolidating. And your National General Council is a very practical act of consolidating the renewal project. So I congratulate you and I thank you for all that you are doing. You are proving to be dedicated comrades who will take our organization forward. I also wish you great luck for your rally. The officials of the ANC Youth League had asked me to come and address your rally, which I was looking forward to very much. But the Secretary General of the ANC said, I cannot abandon the National Executive Committee meeting, which is meeting on the very day, on your rally day. So the national imperative has kicked in, and I'm not abandoning the ANC Youth League. I want to be with you and will be with you in spirit, and I will also be with you in other manifestations that you will have either at provincial, at the regional level. We want to see the ANC Youth League rising from the instability and dysfunctionality of the past. You are the future. And I look very much forward to hearing about the decisions that you will be taking in your National General Council. And I hope that those decisions will take the ANC forward as we go to our own National General Council in December. And I say forward to the ANC Youth League and Amandla, to all of you. The very best for your rally on Saturday. Thank you.
Revolutionary greetings to South Africa, and of course Amalikau, the man of the mind as such. Welcome to yet another electrifying edition of the ANC TV. As I've said earlier on, we are in Kimberley in the Northern Cape, and of course the diamond capital of the world, where the African National Congress Youth League nationally is having the historic second General Council. And of course in the studio right now I am joined by the former president of the ANC Youth League, and of course many people have called him Razzmatazz. He's very vibrant. He's just come off the podium and joining us in the studio. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the Secretary General of the African National Congress in this country, Ntate Fikile Mbalula. Comrade Fikile Mbalula, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
No, thank you for having us, and long live to ANC TV.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Your reflection on the General Council.
The General Council of the ANC Youth League is the second General Council. The first General Council was held in Midrand, which muted and adopted the slogan freedom, economic freedom in our lifetime. And bringing into life the ANC Youth League slogan in 1944, when the Youth League was formed, which said freedom in our lifetime. And they adapted that slogan, the Youth League, in its first General Council to today's challenge and mission, which is economic freedom. And coming to this General Council, the Youth League theme of the General Council talk about change now, not later, and which is important because the youth have always brought a sense of agency in the politics of the country, but at the same time in shaping up the character of the African National Congress. It has been a good General Council from beginning to the end. And now they are in commissions finalizing resolutions, which resolutions looking at the midterm reports have been presented and adopted, and which is quite encouraging. And the commissions now are going to shape up in terms of what is it that the leadership needs to do to accelerate on the resolutions of the last conference, which really are focused on economic freedom, and in particular socio-economic conditions of young people.
How is the alignment between what the Youth League is saying in terms of economic freedom now and what the ANC might want to achieve?
Come again?
What would be the alliance or the alignment rather between what the Youth League now is saying, economic freedom now, not in our lifetime, now, today, as opposed to what we in the ANC as the mother body is trying to achieve?
And now it means the present. It doesn't mean that the Youth League doesn't have resolutions that it has sponsored in the ANC when it comes to youth development and socio-economic, changing the socio-economic conditions of young people. Those resolutions are there. If you look at the economic structure of our country and where it places the Youth League have sponsored a number of resolutions. Education, you can talk about policy in relation to mineral resources, you talk about beneficiation and all of that. Youth League have shaped that particular resolution of the ANC in relation to youth interest. And we're looking forward from this General Council to that vibrancy and to pursue the agenda of youth. I mean, I was talking about the regulations of credit regulator that were withdrawn. It is the Youth League led by its president and the SG post their meeting that opposed those regulations in as far as it affects young people, particularly as students. And that's how powerful is the Youth League. And of course, other formations across the political divide and all of that came into the party by supporting what the ANC Youth League have actually generated. The Youth League led the biggest march in the country, and many other people were basically besmirching that march. It's useless and all of that. But I can assure you that Colin Malachi, without sounding to be patronizing, has actually been on the right track in terms of leading the youth, and the age in terms of the cohort of youth who are elected with him is in their favor. And I can tell you, even in the ANC National Executive Committee, not on petty issues, factionalism, and on fundamental transformative issues, the Youth League has been stepping up in the NEC, both the Secretary General and the President, and which is what is expected of them. So they've not been quite, big on internal squabbles of the ANC, like the Youth League used to be associated with such. They've actually been big on shaping the social transformation agenda of this country for the youth. And that is what they've actually done. And that is why coming to this meeting, we are one as leadership to convey to them that the ANC is behind you, and we are in support. We sent the Deputy President. I was here as the SG. The President, I'm going to negotiate with him to come here tomorrow, because I discussed with the President of the Youth League the question of times, because to us local government is a special NEC and it needs the President. So we're starting at 9. So Colin, the President of the Youth League, has briefed me that the rally will be at 1. So we will release the President to come here, which is about an hour, and I called him, and I couldn't finish my discussion with him. I had to rush to the podium to speak. So we'll finalize that discussion, and I'll convey to him that indeed there is space for him to come, because I thought that if we start in the morning with a special NEC, which will end on Sunday, it means that the President will not be in a position to grace the occasion, but the President of the Youth League have since explained to me how the program will then unfold. So that's how we hold this leadership, in high esteem, and have legit expectations, and we've got to support them to succeed. It's not easy to lead the youth. We come from there, we know. So we are here to support them and give leadership as the ANC to this leadership of the ANC Youth League, led by Colin Malachi.
Two fundamental issues that they are raising: economic freedom, which you've already addressed, and unemployment of young people in this country. How are we addressing that as the ANC and the majority in our government today?
I'm being directed in many ways. How we are intervening is that, one, everything that government does in the endeavor to create jobs, it will benefit the youth in particular. So our economy is not growing at the same pace as we want, but what we are driving in terms of the overarching strategy of the ANC is a reindustrialization. Create industries that expand and create jobs in the country. And in this particular instance, that is what has been our priority. We have adopted a consolidated economic trajectory of the ANC on what needs to be done as the NEC, which at the level of government is driven by trade and industry. But, we need cohesive, as we go to the General Council, clearer perspective on what economic policy and trajectory we are following as the ANC. Back then, you will know what the ANC is doing when it comes to economy,
yes,
and all of that. But now, if we can ask all of us here, we will speak in tongues. But our manifesto talks about industrialization, and this is what we are pursuing as a country. And as we do that, it will then benefit majority of our youth in South Africa.
Finally, former Youth League president, not so young anymore, we're getting to the rally tomorrow. Will you be gracing us with your presence and strutting some few moves on stage?
No, I'm not. I run the ANC now. So the Youth League has prepared me to lead the ANC. And, it's a very important, as much as I have to strike a personal note about it, that it's me at the helm, but it's a reflection of a generation. The contribution we have made into the ANC over the years. And that today we're at the helm of the ANC. And I'm proud that in the national officials of the ANC, you've got two directly officials of the ANC who come from the ranks of the Youth League. Of course, others come from the youth movement, but they did not come to realize the fruition of the formation of the Youth League in the country and belong to it. Of course, they belong to the Women's League and so on, but two officials of the ANC come direct from the ranks of the ANC, with one of them being the Secretary General and the second Deputy Secretary General. That is a reflection of the contribution we have made in the ANC over the years. And if you look at the ANC in the provinces and the regions, it then begin to put into practice and realization that the ANC Youth League is a training ground and a preparatory school that offload, like a TLB to the African National Congress. And that's what is happening now. It's not a fallacy, it's not a fault and all of that. And that's why you will see the behavior, even into the ANC. Now, we've got to teach the youth the good discipline and not imbue the youth with negative and foreign tendencies like disruption. When the SG comes because you lost a conference in Etlantsen, when he gets there, boo him. Embarrass the ANC and embarrass the SG. Let me tell you, I'm of a different brand. I'm not intimidated by thuggery. I go for it head on. And those thugs who are doing that thing, I know them. And we will deal with them in terms of the ANC. Will not be intimidated as an organization. The era we are in now of renewal requires of us to be decisive as an organization. If we don't do that, we said renew or perish, and that is it. And I know where these comrades come from with all of such tendencies and all of that. And I'm happy that the youth rejected them and their tendency. Yeah, they did not embrace that anarchy because I knew the youth will not take such tendencies and run with them because the focus is different. These young people, 4,000 of them, their expectation is different of this leadership of the youth. They want jobs now. They don't want some factional meeting that took place in some province and where a group was defeated to be planted here and all of that, which has got nothing to do, by the way, with the SG. It has got everything to do with the processes of the ANC. And I lead the ANC, and I know even in the ANC, you deal with such people where people are disgruntled about this and that because I'm in the fire and I lead the African National Congress. But our primary responsibility is to do away with such tendencies. So as we imbue this youth, we must imbue them with the tendencies of ideological clarity and political consciousness, not anarchy. Because those who plant anarchy among the youth, they will live here disgruntled because they themselves don't know why they have to do this, but they've been told to do it anyway. But at the end of the day, they will not have benefited in the world of political education and the science of organization as they come together in a dome like this. A lot of money has been spent here for this dome by the Northern Cape to host the Youth League. And for Youth League to achieve this milestone of a second General Council, literally on their own. Yes, the ANC did come to the party support, but they did it. When Ngudle and them came to me as the SG and I brought them to the officials, I thought these ones are joking. This thing won't take place. But look at the setup here. I'm told young people travel every day to this dome as far as 40 kilometers from Jan Camp to come to the venue every day. Northern Cape does not have facilities of accommodation like Johannesburg and all of that. But this youth is here. So that's why there's been delays of time and all of that. So, and the Northern Cape hosted them because Northern Cape is one today of the most organized ANC provinces. It doesn't mean that everything is hunky-dory, there are no challenges, but it's one of the most organized provinces of the ANC. And we are proud of as an organization. And for Zamani and them to support the Youth League in the way they did, I told Colin as the president, I hope you appreciate this. To put up a dome and get 4,500 or 6,000 young people in a dome in the Northern Cape where nobody dream of coming for an event because there are no venues and all of that. I'm told these people, these comrades are sleeping far away. And the secretary of the province was saying to me, SG, bring the national conference here. I don't know. but we'll look into that. But I'm really encouraged. The spirit here is unbelievable. And it must not be spoiled by anarchy, and disjointed groupings that have got no sense of moment. The ANC is under attack. The ANC, you can characterize it in the most defining, it's in trouble. You can't gather 4,000 young people to come here for nonsense. And they did not come here for election. They come here to shape their future. And that's what Ngudle and Colin must lead these young people to. And I'm happy they are doing that. So I live here very happy. If that anarchy was celebrated by the youth, I will be disheartened. But I live here because I saw the youth of the ANC defying that anarchy. And I knew about it before I came. And I knew from where it was plotted. But I said to the comrades, I'm going there. And I'm going to confront it. And that's what I did from the platform. Because I know where it was manufactured and why it was manufactured. And secondly, there are people who said this conference is called for Malula to come and shy for presidency. If I want to become president of the ANC, I want to campaign or whatever that is the case, it's not for me. It's for the movement. That will come at the right moment. And that is why I had to tell the youth, including the Women's League and the Youth League, stop this thing of leadership and all of that. We're falling apart. And I'm happy coming here. I see the determination of ANC structures every day in the by-elections. It's not easy. Look at Mde in Soweto. The numbers we gathered there and the political parties behind us that are coming. It's not easy for anyone who calls himself a revolutionary to be thinking of things that take us back and undermine our cohesion going forward. We will never allow them. To quote Didi Mabuze, umntu simshaya manje, simphula idolo manje, simqede. Ngeke siyekela abantu bazodlala ngalento, quote unquote, Mabuze. May his soul rest in peace. Ngeke siyenze lonto le. Umuntu simshaya manje.
Yes.
And that is the spirit going forward. Because we must be militant. And the Youth League must be militant in defending the gains of our freedom and to defend the ANC from further sinking down. And the truth must come from this dome with proper resolutions that they as leadership must champion. And we are confident with what we have seen, what we have observed, that is coming. Thank you very much.
SG, let me thank you for handing over the baton to the leadership that we have today of the Youth League. You're one of the people that has shaped the Youth League, contributed quite a lot. Even in the ANC today, young people are still looking, at you for motivation and for encouragement. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's give the leadership of the Youth League and our SG a round of applause. There's a lot of people here. Let's give them a round of applause. And I'm saying today, the Youth League has managed to get a black dome and have black people, black young people covered under that dome. That is very significant. Thank you so much for coming through.
Salute. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
That was the SG, the Secretary General of the African National Congress, and of course talking to us his reflections about the second General Council of the ANC Youth League. And of course we want to thank him coming through, braving what we call spring in the Northern Cape. It's hot. It looks like it's the headquarters of Satan here, but summer is coming, so it's going to be worse. And braving this, and all delegates, 4,500 young people that came down to the Northern Cape, the rural and the most desert area in this country, coming down here and making sure that their minds come together and shape the future of this country. Thank you so much. We've been live on ANC TV. I'm Malik Kau. Keep on voting for the African National Congress, because there's no other party that gave you freedom and that will continue to give you freedom and strive for economic freedom now, today, than the ANC. Ciao.
Well done. Well done. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, and what a heated and a very exciting interview with the Secretary General. And of course, we are live on ANC NCTV in the Northern Cape in Kimberley. I'm Maligao. In the studio, I'm with the ANC NEC member, all the way from the province of the rising sun, Mpumalanga. And we have Comrade Mduduzi Manana. Comrade Mduduzi, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Malik, and thank you for inviting me to the show.
What a long drive, eh?
It is quite a long drive.
From Mpumalanga to the Northern Cape. Your reflection on the second General Council of the Youth League?
Well, this is indeed a historic National General Council. The last or the first NGC of the Youth League was convened by the 23rd NEC of the Youth League, which I was part of. And so coming to this NGC, which is the second in the history of the Youth League, I think is quite marvelous. It's quite a milestone because it's really a gathering of young people who have come to discuss about their future prospects. And so we're very excited as the leadership of the ANC. The SG has correctly articulated our position and our support for the ANC League because we come from this preparatory school ourselves called the ANC Youth League. It has shaped us. We are leaders of the ANC today, having gone through this preparatory school which prepared us to be the leaders we are today.
Well, the SG mentioned something very interesting. I'm thinking about it now, that the Youth League in its nature is very militant. And how has the transition been for many of you that have been shaped by the Youth League militant and wanting what you want for young people now and crossing over into the ANC? Has there been a serious transition or a change of behavior?
It's not necessarily a change of behavior. I think we knew what we wanted at the time when we were leading the Youth League. We conceptualized, the slogan "economic freedom" in our lifetime, and we took that to the ANC. Now that we are leading the ANC, we are advancing that agenda, having been part of a Youth League that declared. At the first historic NGC of the ANC Youth League that we must achieve economic freedom in our lifetime. So the transition has been great because we carried with us to the ANC, or we've carried with us to the ANC all that we're taught by the Youth League, the stamina, the militancy, of course, how we articulate some of the party positions may be different from when we were leaders of the Youth League because we were much younger, we're matured now, but the agenda remains the same. We have to achieve. The Youth League has made a call that we want this economic freedom now, not later. So they're no longer talking about lifetime. And that's their program which we support because we started there. What is of great essence is the fact that we all appreciate that economic freedom is needed. We achieved political freedom and we ushered into a democratic dispensation in 1994, but our people are still living in squalor. Our people are still living in abject poverty. Young people are unemployed. And so there's definitely a need and an appreciation that this economic freedom must be achieved. We've entered now a struggle for economic freedom, which will in the end address the triple challenges that we continue to face, which is poverty, unemployment, and inequality.
Now, quite an amazing inclusion of young people within the leadership of government, and of course, how does this translate into doable and tangible results after the National General Council? What is the expectations? How must this shape how we do things in government and how we move forward?
Of course, the Youth League is going to step into their commissions, take further resolutions, which the leadership must then carry forward. They must go to government and say, this is what young people, or these are the programs or the resolutions that young people have agreed on, and we want implementation from the level of government. Some of them, leaders of the Youth League, are leaders in government, and so I'm sure it will be easy. Back in the day, we had almost nil, if not one or two, comrades in government who were from our ranks. But over time, I think the ANC leadership has really, come to appreciate that these young people can equally, partake in government. They don't have to be on the other side of the street and make pronouncements and shout and all of that. Let them be part of the solutions. Let them come and serve in government, which we appreciate. But over and above that, this NGC must take key resolutions which government must then implement, and the Youth League must then sit on government that these are our resolutions. We want them implemented as they relate to unemployment of young people, as they relate to industrialization and all of that. So I think what will come out, these are very energetic young people, and of course we would have seen some bad tendencies which we disapprove, but overall I think these young people are showing, a great interest in their future, in the shaping of their future, which is wonderful.
Your last message to young people, particularly of the Northern Cape?
Well, we first want to thank the Northern Cape for hosting this historic second National General Council. But really, to the young people, we know that the Northern Cape, through Comrade Zamani, who's leader of government, is putting a number of initiatives to get young people working. A number of industries are being opened here. There are a lot of initiatives led by government, and young people must take advantage of these opportunities. But they must not end there. They must get the skills so that they can respond more handsomely to the labor demands. So young people of Northern Cape, at some point, it was reported that in Northern Cape, or the young people of Northern Cape, don't further their learning or their education up to universities and all of that. Of course, we do not have a university here. The ANC government made sure that the university is built here, which is called Solplaatje University. I was part of that process when we brought. It was a resolution first of the Youth League, and the ANC then resolved on it that Mpumalanga and Northern Cape are the two provinces without universities, and so they directed government that these universities must be built, and these universities were built with Solplaatje here universities. So young people are getting educated, and they must get the requisite skills so that they can really respond to the opportunities that are out there. So we no longer talk about Northern Cape with with gleam that no, they are not so educated. There's a university, they have colleges here where they can get occupational skills and artisanal skills so that they can take up these opportunities presented by government, because the government here is at work and they've been working very hard to ensure that they fight poverty and unemployment.
Yeah. Kurim Duduzi, thank you so much for coming through, and we want to thank you. This is the mineral capital of the world, the Northern Cape. Thank you so much for coming through, and we'll see you tomorrow at the rally.
Thank you very much.
Oh yeah,
we'll be there.
Wear shorts.
We'll do.
We must wear shorts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was Comrade Mduduzi Manana, who's an ANC NEC member rather, from all the way in Mpumalanga, the province of the rising sun. And of course, God's window is also there. So Mpumalanga is quite the province to visit. And of course, you two are also welcome to come through to the Northern Cape. We've got Okravi's waterfalls, we've got Witstrand, we've got a whole lot of exciting stuff in Kimberley. The biggest man-made hole in the world is in this province and in the city. And we're also now joined by Siviwe Ngaba, who is a PEC member in the Eastern Cape. Tata, unjani tata? Kamnandi ke. Yes, welcome to the show. And quickly, briefly, your reflection about the trip coming here and the General Council, in general.
In general, yes. No, the trip itself is a very long trip. It's a very long distance because I'm coming from Nelson Mandela Bay, which is right at the end of the Eastern Cape towards the coast. So it was a very long trip, very tiring. Also, the Northern Cape is very hot. Our weather is regulated by the oceans, so we're not used to such dry and hot weather that side. In relation to the NGC, I believe that the NGC went smoothly. It was a united gathering of young people. The ANC Youth League was starting to become characterized as an organization that is filled with a lot of infighting. The maturity that was displayed by delegates to this NGC is very commendable, and we are moving ahead towards its conclusion now.
All right. And what is your expectation after the council going back to the Eastern Cape? Is there any implementation that would be taken in terms of resolutions that would be planted into the Eastern Cape?
Yes, definitely. Before coming here, each province had its own provincial general council. So those provincial general council resolutions that we have taken are the ones that are going to feed to the National General Council, and we're going to have a consolidated National General Council resolutions that all of us must take back home. But more importantly is that when we arrive in our various provinces, we would need to go back and rejuvenate the energy of young people in championing our own issues. The latter speaker, Comrade Mtu, speaks about how the youth is the one that must be in charge of the future, and we are serious about jealously guarding the future of this country, because the old people are not going to be here for that future. It is ourselves and our children and the generations that come after us. So leaving this NGC, we have got to go back to our structures. We have got to go and introduce all the resolutions and declarations of NGC, and therefore work towards the renewal program of the organization.
Yes, Sylvia, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the rally tomorrow, and then if we don't see each other on Sunday, Godspeed and have a safe travel back to the Eastern Cape.
Most definitely. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Sylvia Ngaba from the Eastern Cape, and of course a PEC member of the African National Congress. Just a reflection on the NGC, and of course he's saying to them he applauds the discipline and the maturity that was displayed here by young people, particularly the majority of them, all 4,500 young people that were gathered here to come and really talk to each other. And also in the studio, all the way from Mpumalanga, who's coming from governing by Branch in Ward 8, Mkhululeko. Is it Mkhululeko Khumalo?
Yes.
Wamazi doctor.
Yeah, doctor, I'm talking 16 valve.
16 valve.
I'm calling him
Your reflection on the NGC?
My reflection on the NGC so far, I'd like to firstly take this opportunity to acknowledge what Mr. SG just said, Fikile Mbalula, based on the most focal point at the moment right now is to renew the ANC. You understand? Yes, we understand as youth we do have our challenges and problems, but now the biggest problem now is to renew the ANC. But over and above, everything went well so far. It was my first time in Kimberley. I met a lot of young people who are passionate about the ANC, who are passionate about the Youth League and changing the current situation of the country. So everything just went so well so far. We're happy. Everything went according to plan. I don't know, how did you see it?
Yes. So how do you, after the resolutions have been taken, how do you then instill this in your province?
I think we must go back to the drawing board, go back to the branches. That's where it starts. You understand? Get young people that want to do change and make change in the community. Sit down with them, make them understand the mandate of the ANC firstly, and of the ANC Youth League, because we get feed from the ANC. You understand? So we go down, we plan, we try and recruit as much as possible young people, and then we make them understand what are the challenges and how we should go about fixing them. because the most important thing I think that makes young people agitated is unemployment. But now they need to understand why is the unemployment and how we should go about fixing this thing. Firstly, we need to create jobs, and the government and everyone else needs to start investing in young people so that young people can also start opening their own businesses so that they can also employ other young people. So by so doing, I think we can try and get rid of the issue of unemployment, because unemployment also leads to other things as well, crime and drug abuse and all those things.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and safe trip back to Mpumalanga. But before we go back to Mpumalanga, we have to jive tomorrow at the rally right here at Mitas Perepere Convention Center. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. And there was yet another young person from Mpumalanga coming back and saying they are pleased about the NGC, very disciplined, matured, and of course they are willing to go back home and instill this within our branches. And I'm also now joined by another ANC NEC member. We've known her, we've seen her before on this platform, and I'm talking about none other than Lindy Mchalinchali, who's in the studio. Mama, how are you?
I'm okay, and yourself?
Oh no, partly cloudy, it's got a thunder shower. Cheers, I came back.
So true, it's very hot.
And this is just spring, hey?
Yeah, I know.
That's not
I'm part of the family now, and I understand.
Oh yes, welcome back home.
Yeah.
Your reflection on the NGC?
It was, let me greet you and everybody who's viewing our channel and our team of DCIP that we are hardworking, I must indicate. We have a 3-day that was very intense, very involved, and it's been quite heartwarming to see young people of the ANC across the provinces coming here in the Northern Cape. Some of them, it's their first experience coming so far by bus, and traveling and seeing the beauty of the Northern Cape, how vastness it is. But key to that is that it's for the first time that we're bringing such a magnitude event in the Northern Cape under this dome here in Mitas Perepere for young people to be charting a way forward, because the National General Council is the highest decision-making body in between conferences, and where they are reviewing their programs in terms of the term of office of that elected structure. So it was quite heartwarming to see young people being involved. Yes, some of them were exhausted because they travel very far, as KZN, as in the Eastern Cape, Mpumalanga and Gauteng. But when they arrived, once rested, they made their way to plenary and made some inputs. What is good is that the focus that they pay attention on is the issues of your economic empowerment, issues of policy making, because there's some also discussion documents that after lunch they will be taking to their commissions in finalizing matters of policy review. Remember also, as the National Executive Committee of the ANC, we've released discussion documents to say what are the issues, why people are not attracted to the voting the ANC, why the decline, who are these forces that are with us, who are these people that were supporting us, your stratas that were supporting us, now they are moving away. Can we find what attracts women, young youth, young women, young men who are still in their early 30s to come and support us, because we must be there to give policies that changes their life. It's exactly what the Youth League was doing here in terms of policy review and making sure that they remain within the program of action that was adopted in their national conference.
Now, what is expected from here? After all is said and done, second National General Council over and done with, what is expected in terms of contribution in advancing those resolutions and really implementing them into government?
Remember, the Youth League structure is its autonomous structure, but also they are taking it to the National General Council of the ANC that will be held in December. And then after that conference, once it resolves of the ANC, those will be taken into government and as a form of manifesto where there's a need for policy change. It is, those proposals are there. Some of these activities you've seen, your withdrawal of some of the policies that were not helping in terms of the youth. You have seen those withdrawal. So these forums are very important because they change lives, they make policy, and they chart a way forward because they are forward-looking, other than being taken that we are here, we're touring Northern Cape. No, we're not. It is the highest decision-making body. Hence, we're saying their contribution shall feed back to the ANC, and the ANC will take them through to our governing structures.
Your last message to South Africa?
Let's support young people. Their struggles are different from ours that time. They face different challenges, some of them of substance abuse, some of them of challenges of cyber attacks and cyber bullying. Their struggle are different from ours. And the one that is critical is unemployment. So we call on private sector and our sector departments to say, let's avail those youth opportunities and let us lessen, the president has spoken, let us lessen those requirements of experience, because these young people, when they are fresh from colleges, universities and TVETs, yes, they might not have the experience you need, but they are trained and they are capable, and we should be the country that gives them that opportunity. That is why it's key for us to invest in the youth, because it is the future of South Africa.
Yes. No, I just wanted a message for South Africa, not Northern Cape, because when Umtana Sekaya.
That is across the board. So all the South Africans, the youth has spoken.
Yes.
And all these matters that affects the youth, it's across the board. So to all South African, let's have hope in the ANC. Let us keep voting the ANC. Let us not stay away. Remember, youth vote was a bit lower. So as we move towards local government election, we will be holding our NEC tomorrow and Saturday, and on Monday we are calling all councillors of the ANC to remain accountable to the people. Make use of your own ward councillors in your own area. Know your local government, because also it is key, relevant and closer to you to bring service delivery. Take part. Even if you are young, there are needs that only youth can address them, not us, or raise them with government. So take part.
Yes.
You are a key stakeholder in that government.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us. We can learn so much from young people as well. It doesn't mean because you are older than them, you can't learn anything from them. Tina Abanye, we are BTT, born before technology. So my sons are teaching me quite a lot. And don't forget, always vote ANC. It does not matter where. We are also joined by Comrade Tsakani Shiviti, Umchangan.
Yes.
Umtsonga. Ahe.
Tsonga Shivir.
Mikwini.
Yekona mjani.
Akusasekile. Chikwembu. Your reflections about the NGC?
So far we are doing very well. We have done a lot actually, because today is the last day. From the first day, from the addresses, people that we've invited who have come here, all young people who have gathered here, the mood, the vibe, the hype, everything has been going well. And the discussion, most importantly, the discussion of young people and the things that are affecting young people, all challenges of young people and all possible solutions that were put forward by young people in this NGC also. It's one of the highlights that I can say that the NGC is going well. You know it's going well when young people start putting policy positions on the table and say, we want policy change, we want change on many things. It's only young people that always speak about change, because change is constant. Now young people are at the phase wherein they want to see things happening and they want to see them happening faster. So this NGC has been a platform for that, for most of the young people that are here.
Are we really talking to issues of women in particular?
We are talking about everything. The issues of gender, the issues of transformation, the issues of unemployment, how to get jobs here in South Africa, because the Youth League has outlined that youth unemployment is a problem. So actually we have termed it as a pandemic. We said after COVID-19, there's a pandemic called youth unemployment, and it's something that we must now focus on. We focus on that. The plenary has called on industrial policy. We have spoken on we've spoken on industrialization for the longest time, but now plenary had spoken that they want an industrial policy. Industrial policy, government must have an industrial policy, industrialization policy. We must industrialize our economy. We must beneficiate our economy. We must stop talking about it. We must stop exporting mineral resources. 70% of mineral resources must remain here in the country. We can only export 30% raw materials, but the rest of the material must remain here in the country, must be beneficiated here in the country.
And be processed in this country.
Yes, processed here. Imagine now, I'm here in Northern Cape where you get a lot of mineral resources here. There's diamond here. I can see you're wearing a ring there on your finger.
I name a diamond, Shem.
I can see you're wearing some rocks there. So we want these rocks made in South Africa.
Yeah.
We don't want these rocks to go out there in the world and create jobs for children of their countries. Young people here in our country don't have jobs, but they have mineral resources. They have means to create jobs, actually. Because these diamonds here must remain here, we must create an industry here, they must be processed here, and they must be made here in South Africa. Then we must then transport to the world these rings, these rocks properly in rings and chains and anything that is a product that is made of diamonds.
Yes.
Or gold or platinum and anything. Here also there's iron ore. We want to take out of the country and trade with other countries. They must buy aeroplanes here in the country.
Yeah.
You know, they must buy here because it means to do that are here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Sakani Shiviti from Amalamulela, thank you so much for joining us. Issues of women, they've been talking about them. The whole lot of conversation going on. Now they are in commissions. They'll be coming back. Resolutions have been made. And of course, young people taking decisions about themselves, not somebody else taking decisions on their behalf. I'm also joined by Lwazi Pakadi from the Western Cape. Awe Masana Umkosa, who's an NEC member in that province. Lwazi, Comrade Lwazi, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Malita.
Yes.
Thank you.
Western Cape, very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting province with its own interesting dynamics.
Yes, the province where we are not leading.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your impression?
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to come as a young person from a province that we are leading as the ANC. Mm-hmm. Now you coming as a young person from a province where the ANC is not leading. Tell me about that.
Look, it's difficult. Well, the ANC has been at the back foot in the Western Cape, finding it difficult to grow the numbers, since it last was in government, I think in the year 2006. But we're excited to be the newly appointed PTT of the Western Cape, which I'm the convener of, to try and revive the ANC Youth League in the Western Cape, but also to help the ANC to regain its strength and to regain its spirit, and also be back on the ground with the people. So it's quite an interesting NGC that we're part of as the Western Cape, because some of these things that are being discussed here, we are unfortunately experiencing them directly in the Western Cape. If you can just recall that some townships in the Western Cape are part of the meta capital of South Africa.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the townships like Nyanga, Khayelitsha, they are always listed high in the issues of crime. So when we speak about in this NGC about the questions of youth unemployment, it speaks directly to some of the challenges of crime that we're experiencing in the Western Cape.
Look, I was at the January 8th in Cape Town in Kailicha.
Yeah.
And it was clear that nobody cares.
Yeah.
It was clear that the current leadership of the Western Cape does not care about black people, does not care about colored people. It was quite clear. I even took pictures.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting.
Look, if you land, when you land at the airport in Cape Town, you clearly see the disparities between the rich and the white.
Yes.
The airport is on the more affluent side, but just over the road on the N2 is Nyanga, Philippi, where there are all shacks there. And this government of the DA has been continuing to build what we term as a two-city state, you know, whereby there are rich people on the other side and there are poor people on the other side. And most of these services are being given, most of the services are being given and delivered to the white and affluent areas. Most of the budget of the DA government of the city of Cape Town is focusing more on the affluent areas, while leaving people in the townships suffering and squandering, you know. So what we're trying to do also is this newly PTT is to help the ANC to mobilize young people in the Western Cape to vote against the Democratic Alliance, to remove the Democratic Alliance as leadership of the Western Cape, because black people and colored people have not even singly benefited from having a DA and a white RAN government in the Western Cape.
Well, let's see that change next year with the local government elections.
Next year,
let's see a bit of a decline of the so-called DA voters, the numbers. Thank you so much for
joining us. Keep this video in the archives, and then we'll check it next year after elections.
Thank you so much for joining us, Lwazi from the Western Cape. Away, second. Thank you so much for joining us. We are also now joined by another guest, a lot of guests today that we are talking to, and then I'm told that there is a video that's going to be playing. I'll let you know which video is that. Right now we are joined by, is it Paseka? Paseka from Northwest, who is a PEC member, Paseka Molete. Right, so dumela.
All the viewers from all over the country.
Go Northwest.
Ke tswa ko Mafikeng tota.
Wena
mo ko Mafikeng.
Ga kae? Ha mabatho.
Mo mabatho mo montsi wa fale. Mara ha ntreasure sentle le go boitso seng ko bang kreya mo ke family ya rona.
Nya wena o go gae ke goletsa ha magogwe ha tlhabologo.
No motho go gae.
Re ba go gae ke ga re dula ha unit 6 ha kana kwele. Ha ke itse no le kae wena mara kana kwele. Ke bo ya gago ya NGC gompieno for malatsi a mararo a mabedi a hitileng intse yang.
The NGC has been going very well. Young people came bale robust. Young people came bale militant and having a greater appetite to engage on issues. Young people are tired of the status quo that they are experiencing, of unemployment, of experiencing inequality, of underskilling. The NGC has been deliberate on those things, that we need to change how young people are affected in our country. So the NGC, I'm happy that no any other province came here, and specifically speaking on our province, wanting to become bystanders just to enjoy Kimberley. We are here to ensure that resolutions that have been taken here are going to benefit young people and are going to take us out from the chains of poverty. That is how the NGC have been going. We are blessed to have the SG of the ANC coming to address us. Deputy President heard our cries. By the way, I'm the Deputy President of SASCO, and we had to put forward to him that this thing of submitting students to a credit bureau is uncalled for. It's anti-revolutionary, and it's not what many other leaders that we are standing on their shoulders have died for. So indeed, we are happy that the government is even taking it back. So that is a result of our NGC. How far is it been going? It has already started from its first and second day to give us fruits that both of us we can enjoy and eat as young people.
And I'm happy that has been withdrawn.
We're absolutely happy. You can't do that too.
You start working with debt.
You cannot do that. Imagine you are submitting us to credit bureau. Imagine it means it will be difficult for you to can buy a car. It will be difficult for you to can even buy a a home for yourself.
But I'm not picking up one point, issues of gender-based violence. I'm not picking them up. Issues of crime. I'm not picking them up in terms of resolutions that must be taken by the Youth League in terms of addressing those issues.
No, need to remember that we have not arrived at the point where resolutions are going to be read out and are going to be presented before the NGC. We're in the stage of discussions. Right now, we have paused. We're going to go back to our commissions. And in our different commissions, we'll be addressing different societal ills and challenges that we are facing in our country. So from those commissions, we'll be gathering again to discuss the reports from those commissions and adopt them to become our resolutions. At the end of the NGC, that's when the Secretary General will be rising to the podium and present the resolutions. We will either adopt, comment, or reject them. But I know that young people that are here will deposit solutions that we know that are going to benefit young people, because we're in a majority. I'll make an example with the Northwest Province. Recently, the released statistics said that Northwest is high on unemployment. That is why we came here with our large number, and we're highly agitated to say we are looking forward to this NGC to can submit few pointers that we know that, not even few, many pointers that we know that are going to be a solution to our young people. I'll make an example. We are currently calling on our government and private sector to reinvest in our airports. We must, you can imagine, there's not even one single airport that is working in Northwest. We want that airports, both of them, to be resuscitated. The one in Pilanesberg and the one in Mabatu. That's called Kgosi Muntsiu. It will help us in terms of logistics. That will create employment. It will help us in terms of tourism, easy access to our province. It will help us in job creation. We'll have many young people who will go to schools for aviation and who can become flight attendants and have even businesses. The business of accommodation and properties will then boom on behalf of Northwest. So that is why we are here, to submit such kind of solutions that can. But by the way, we believe in industrialization. The Northwest Province must go through the
Platinum Province.
Yes. We're a Platinum Province. We are the largest in the country, in Africa and everywhere. But mineral beneficiation doesn't show in our Northwest.
Yes.
We need to have young people, more of them in the mining sector, being absorbed, owning mines and participating fully for creating employment and in ownership of our.
Let me thank you, Mokhaitsho.
No,
Ke a go leboga tota. Ga ka sontaga ga le boela ga ile tsamae sentle hle Mokhaitsho.
No ra leboga.
Le ba dibedise ko gae ko magogwe le mo ra batla ba mamo le ba dibedise nkgonne.
No batla dumela.
Pula.
A ene le ba rolong fela.
Yeah, that is Mochana wa Gaitsho o tswang ko mahikeng re bua setswana se tlhololo sa motho ga pele sa ko magaleng. And I'm also joined by another comrade, Mpumelelo Sangweni from GP Gangsters Paradise by Bizayalo. Hasenna, it's not me. They say GP Gangsters Paradise, Gauteng Province. Yes, the province of gold. Comrade Mpumelelo.
Shabazit, my brother.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
My second home, Gauteng.
Thank you for having me.
Your reflection on the NGC. I know it's not in Gauteng, it's in the rural Northern Cape.
Let's firstly start commend the 26th National Executive Committee for convening such a very well organized second National General Council. It's a historic NGC. They've really done a very good job in organizing this NGC. Yes, the NGC has been moving according to the plan and the program. We have not really dealt with the commissions, which is the gist of the NGC, and we are looking forward, and all delegates are looking forward to make contributions that will possibly find expression in the policy positions of the ANC when it also convenes its NGC.
Now, as the provincial secretary in Gauteng, whatever resolution that's going to come out here, how are you hoping to instill them in within the ANC in the province? And also ultimately, I'm told also in December, the ANC's NGC will be sitting and instilling them there. So ultimately, they're instilled in within our government and parliament so that resolutions and implementation can happen in within our country, particularly for young people.
Yeah, so what we have done leading up to the NGC, we convened a special general council, special provincial general council in Gauteng, wherein we consolidated a perspective on a number of issues. For instance, in Gauteng, we will be contributing a view of a 24-hour economy in all metros. We are also speaking about the fast tracking of the process of the Ekurhuleni University of Sciences. So we are then saying from that process in commissions, our delegates will be making that input, and then from that input, we are hoping that it will be captured and the NGC will resolve on that issues. Unfortunately, many of us as delegates here are members of the ANC. We participate fully in the ANC. We will be delegates again to the National General Council of the ANC, where we will also be making the same submissions. The NEC will make the submissions to the ANC. We as branch delegates of the ANC going towards the ANC NGC will also be pushing the very same resolutions.
Your advice and your last word to young people of Gauteng?
Young people of Gauteng needs to be active citizens. They can't just sit and be keyboard warriors. They need to go out there, ensure that they participate in structures of governance, starting from school governing bodies, ward committees, and then also if they have an interest in active politics, which we really encourage them to be part of. So we are then saying they really need to be active citizens, limit the consumption of the negative narrative that is put out there on social media. There's always, if you check right now, your algorithm, when you type in the ANC or type in government, it's only negative news that will pop up first. So we are then saying as Gauteng, 15th PEC, who are saying to young people they need to scratch deeper than what they normally see on social media. Government is doing a lot in Gauteng. Fortunately, recently the Premier relaunched the Nasespani program, which is a very progressive government policy intervention to temporarily assist on the issue of unemployment. There are a number of vacancies now that are advertised. We are encouraging young people to apply for them, and we are engaging the ANC leadership in the province to say, look, open space for young people to participate in business, open the procurement space. We ran a campaign a couple of weeks ago or months ago where we called all young people who are appointed in panels to come forward with their appointment letters so that we assist them to get business from the Gauteng provincial government.
Comrade Mpumelelo, thank you so much for joining us, and tomorrow it's our rally, so Jaiva Manch. Sunday is back home and of course resting, Monday's work, and so that we can inspire more young people. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. That is Comrade Mpumelelo from Gauteng, and then of course we continue with our very final last interview coming through, where we're going to be talking about the NGC, and of course it looks like is it Yandisa? We'll be talking to Yandisa right now. Yandisa, good afternoon from the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Chini sana.
Chini. Yeah, and I'm just happy to be here.
Uvela phe Eastern Cape zano.
Divela eGqeberha eBhayi.
PE former.
Yes.
Yeah, that place is windy.
Very windy, but beautiful. We're a friendly city and a windy city.
I don't know about friendly, but welcome to the Northern Cape. Welcome to Ikimbali.
Yes.
And of course, as a female.
Yes.
What is your reflection, particularly about the NGC addressing women issues?
I think the NGC, the discussion document is very clear on the stance of the Youth League when it comes to female issues, women in leadership, and generally the response of integration and transformation when it comes to women. I think what is coming out very strongly is that the issues of women and the issues of youth are a sort of a, they come together because they are issues of inclusion and being prioritized. So in the broader agenda of the ANC, the youth and women, are fighting the same struggle to ensure that we are represented in structures of the ANC, in strategic positions of power. And I think it's coming out strongly in the discussion documents of the NGC and the posture in which the Youth League is, saying where it is when it comes to women issues and young people at the center. So I think for me, I'm very happy with the discussions. Of course, they need to be amplified, they need to be louder, they need, for us as regional leadership and provincial leadership, we need to take it to the structures of the movement so that we carry that mandate. But other than that, I'm pretty happy about how the discussions are going. I'm looking forward to commissions as well, seeing how the women issues are integrated into the economic transformation agenda. I'm interested how we integrate it into the youth development, in the battle of ideas and everything, and all of the commissions that will be sitting. So yeah, I'm excited and I'm pretty happy at the moment.
Now, gender-based violence is obviously violence from one gender to the other, and it's quite balanced. But in South Africa, it seems like it is one-sided, where women are the ones that are being abused, females are the ones that have been abused more. Not that men are not being abused, they are. It's just that men's ego prevents them to report these cases. What are we doing in society, particularly within our branches, as the ANC Youth League, as the ANC, as leaders of society, to address these issues and fundamentals? And going into commissions, is it one of the points that you will be pointing out in commissions so that clear policies and mandates can come out?
100%, definitely. I'm bringing that out strongly in commissions. I think when it comes to gender-based violence, the Youth League in particular must lead sort of the language around how women are spoken about in society, particularly when it comes to how young men are growing up in society and how they see women, because the struggle for gender-based violence is a struggle, it's an inherited and historical struggle about how women are seen in society. But I also think that the lack of economic transformation when it comes to women, it puts them in a vulnerable position even further than what they are already in, so that our call for economic transformation and emancipation is a call that is directly affecting women. And as soon as you emancipate a woman, they're less vulnerable in society. And I think when it comes to the Youth League and what it should do in its structures, or what it can do, is that it should partner with the Women's League in creating a culture where we speak about these stereotypes, where we have a critical engagement of how, because the reality is that we're growing up in broken families where we've seen sort of these violences taking place, and these are perpetuated as things go on. So I think as the Youth League, because we are the incumbents of the future and we are presiding over young people, we need to shape those stereotypes. We need to break those stereotypes and shape the language in which, or how women are viewed in society. And number two, when we speak about economic freedom in our lifetime, women are supposed to be a direct beneficiary of that process, because it gives them independence. It allows women to not be vulnerable in society and then, of course, be victims of gender-based violence. So it's an intersectional issue that needs all of us in society, but because young people are the majority, they ought to be at the center of the fight against gender-based violence.
Yeah, well, you were empowered yesterday. The Constitutional Court ruled that men can now assume their wives' surnames.
Yes.
In marriage. I hope you're not married.
I'm not.
So if a man is going to assume your surname, will you be paying for the ball?
It's still a conversation that must be had. But I think it's progressive. It's showing that the fight that we've been doing lately, that there's progress, because that is a very empowering position. But Senjma Tina will talk about it. We'll see how it goes for us.
I could imagine Malik Jabaz My surname changing to yours.
Yes,
Malik
Jubase
Jubase,
is nice.
yes.
It's easy on the palate, you know. Very
You know,
nice.
you must come and see my uncles.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'll be in Kabeha in December
Izani
on my way to
Bakula.
Jeffreys Bay.
Yes.
I always come to Jeffreys Bay in December.
Yeah, cool.
So hlangana ke.
Masihlangane bethinana, we are friendly, we are happy, you know, Mastinane.
Yeah, and windy.
And windy, but December's nice weather.
Thank you so much.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you so much. And you're still tuning in onto ANC NCTV. And of course, my next guest is lining up. And we're going to be talking from the Northern Cape, of course. And his name is Comrade Thato. Wow, Comrade Thato. Looking very militant, I must say. Looking nice. Keseki. His name is Kesekile. I've been to court.
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon and welcome to the show.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Malik Kau.
And I must say congratulations to you in the Youth League and of course the leadership of the Youth League for making sure that this grand event comes to the Northern Cape, particularly the capital of the Northern Cape. Yes. And I was saying to somebody yesterday, saying this Black Dome is a game changer. The Youth League strategically made sure that they get the biggest dome and it must be black. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate it.
Yes. No, thank you.
Your views in terms of the NGC up to, so is this what you guys have been dreaming about? Have you seen this happen in your head? Has it come to reality as you've seen it and planned?
Yes, no, we are just as excited because one, what you probably need to make clear is that this is the second NGC since the one that was held in more than 10 years ago, I think about 2010. So now what we do in an NGC, we review decisions and resolutions that were taken in the last Congress. So in this case, at least we look at how far are we in terms of what we've resolved in the 26th Congress, particularly in how far are we in championing the interests of young people in this country. So we are excited first for that. That is a second NGC. At least our generation, we get to see the NGC. We get the opportunity to sit down and reflect and see, comrades, how far did we come? How far are we? And are we on the right track or not? And then also what is quite interesting is, as and when we engage with comrades, both in formal platforms as well as informally, what comes out now is that this NGC is strategic in that it intercedes between the 2024 national and provincial elections, and then it also between that as well as the 2026 local government elections. So we convene at a time where the African National Congress have received a sub-majority in the last elections. So then it becomes a question that for us who are going to inherit the ANC, what then becomes our response in ensuring that we salvage the African National Congress and that we perform even much more better than what the ANC has done last year into 2026, in the 2026 local government elections. So we are excited, we are filled with emotions, we are also looking forward to the engagements. So yes, that's what I would say. We are really looking forward to fruitful engagements in this NGC.
Well, going into commissions now, and there are other issues that will be, I hope that there will be, addressed, like access of young people to health care, in terms of service delivery issues on the ground, in terms of young people, which of course young people have been vocal about. What type of policies or resolutions do you think and anticipate that will be taken on those two issues?
Okay, before maybe we come there, allow me, Mr. Malik, to make the point that we have observed that young people in key sectors of society, like your young people in law, academics, and other senior professionals, do not necessarily want to associate with the African National Congress Youth League. We often draw much of our support base from the ordinary poor young people in our communities. So what this NGC in the commission is going to look at is how to make this very organization even lucrative and even easy to participate into those young people who are in the key sectors of the economy, because they constitute the middle class. And you will know obviously from philosophy in politics, is that from philosophy in politics, the middle class design conversations in society. They actually shape society. So what this NGC must look into urgently is how do we mobilize those young people to come and be part and parcel of the ANC Youth League. So then, of course, we have got issues of service delivery that we want to speak greatly to. And we have said that for us to ensure that service delivery changes the lives of young people, we need to at least have a percentage of young people that leads in key sectors of power to ensure that they send themselves to go and really shape the policy framework, to go and shape the structure of government, and ensure that what the ANC does at the level of government is really relevant to what the young people do need in society. That, of course, issues of unemployment, they remain. We with no doubt ensure that this NGC must have a huge focus on issues of youth unemployment, because that's going to be the first measure of our existence as the Youth League, that to what extent do we call for government to ensure that it stops the growing rate of youth unemployment. If we do not speak about that, then it means we do not become a structure that is relevant to young people in society.
Okay. So ahead of the 2026 local government elections, particularly in the Northern Cape, what are we doing to lobby young people? Number one, to join the organization. Number two, to be actively participating on branch level and lobby support so that we can get the numbers that we need in within the and making sure that victory is certain for the African National Congress in the next local government elections.
Okay, one is to ensure that we keep government accountable. In our last elections, in the last ANC's election strategy workshop, Dr. Zamani Sol said to ANC councillors and mayors that they must use this time to shine. By shine meaning that they must do that which is expected of them. So that's the first thing, to make sure that we call out for immense services delivery. And then number two, also to ensure that we call out corruption. Because we have realized also from research that some of the problems that are facing the African National Congress is how the ANC is perceived nationally and even in provincial governments and even in our municipalities. What comes out, the corruption scandals that are coming out. And so as the Youth League, as those who are going to inherit the African National Congress, we need to have our voice out, voicing out our views against corruption. Because we understand how dangerous and how painful corruption can be, especially if it is monies that is put aside to change the lives of our ordinary people. So we are going to call out corruption, and we must be the first people to protect whistleblowers or to speak in favor of whistleblowers and to even report corruption where we see it. What we are also going to do, and which must also be discussed in this National General Council, is how to lobby the business. How to lobby, like I said, other sectors of society. Because the African National Congress is at the perspective of what we call a social compact. Meaning, how do we bring in different people in the sectors of society to come and ensure that we build this? Because we do need business to help the African National Congress, not just to absorb our people, but to also help us, to give us the skill on how we can integrate government programs to ensure that we assist young people. So we are looking at that, and also in order to ensure that we really win local government elections, we cannot go into local government elections with the current state of our branches. This NGC, and what is also coming out from conversation, is that it is quite urgent that we really build stronger branches. And we up our game in as far as political education is concerned. Political education in the sense that much as there's so many problems that are facing the African National Congress, but we also cannot rule out the fact that the ANC, at least since 1994, has changed the lives of our people for the better. Now, if we do not politicize these issues and we don't make our young people aware of the gains that the ANC have done, in as much as there are problems and challenges, but if we do not also foreground what the ANC have done, which needs to at least be done at the level of political education and even communication, then we will be left with people who just magnify the bad or the challenges that are in the ANC and speak less about what the African National Congress have done. So those will be some of the key areas that we will look into.
Tato, thank you so much. One of the young people's, very few young people in this country who are PLOs in ministries. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for your contribution towards young people, particularly within the health sector, being out there and engaging with young people and making sure that they understand where we are trying to go and a support of where we are trying to go. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. All right, our final guest, I hope. Coming through, and it's Faith. Hi, Faith.
Greetings, how are you?
How are you doing, Faith?
I'm good.
Faith, where are you from?
I'm from Limpopo.
Where in Limpopo?
My home is in Makurutamara local municipality, a village called Lugral.
Umupedi we?
Umupedi, yeah.
Awa wa reshu.
Yeah.
Umutokwa.
Yeah, ki mukoni.
Umukoni. Oh, na le kae na?
Rona re tsi.
Awa tsitsi. Awa ke bele bone ka tenta mara di gona na mo tenta ke.
Yeah.
Di gona na.
Wa re tseo. Yeah.
Bele maikutlo a lena ka moleto re no ru tshwere mo a ditjua.
Yeah, le tla lemoga ga botse gore January it hasn't been an easy one since we have lost one of our own provincial executive committee members of the Youth League in Limpopo when we were on our way here, and we want to use this platform to send our condolences to the family. So we didn't have quite a smooth journey, but we had to come here and be part of this historic National General Council, whereby all young people of the country have gathered, and so far it's been a good council, whereby conversations have already started. What should be the shape of this NGC? You know that the NGC is a constitutional mandate of the Youth League. Therefore, this is a structure or a platform that is going to allow us to review, ever since conference of the Youth League, where are we now in terms of our resolutions, in terms of us implementing what we had agreed about in Congress, and what should be the way forward, where we are now standing. So there's been a lot of discussions that have already been discussed or kick-started. We are waiting for commission so that we finally rubber stamp our inputs to this progressive NGC.
Well, you're a provincial chairperson, and I know Limpopo very well, very rural as well.
Yeah.
Past Polokwane, you'll find Bomuleji, Rasemenya, very rural areas, villages, Hamashashani, nobody, and so forth. And part of this as a female is that when you find villages in that man, there is a lot of inherited problems. Gender-based violence, abuse of children, and so forth and so forth. How do we address these issues in particularly within the young people, and how we as men, young men, treat and see and speak to our women within the rural settings of Limpopo?
Yeah, we've been very proactive in terms of responding to these issues of GBV. They're not only affecting us in Limpopo because we're rural. I think the issues of gender-based violence, they cut across the entire country. And during last week, we heard of another case whereby a Somalian guy, a foreign national, who raped a young kid who was 2 years old. So we responded very quickly as the ANC Youth League. We're a very active subcommittee of gender that is led by Letlhonolo Maiba, who's always, we made sure that we have to capacitate her, because we must be the first responders in the society, and it's part of the things that we are doing. Now we have become very proactive in terms of addressing these issues. We're always in courts, we're always outside picketing, that this thing must come to a stop. And like I've said, it's a national issue, so it needs everyone to really put in hands to put stop to this, because each and every day it's very devastating that our young kids, young women in general, they become raped and killed, and even students as well. We're at UL, University of Limpopo, last week as well, whereby we interacted with many students that continue to share their frustrations with us. So we call upon the men in particular to come in and be part of a movement that protects women.
Well, so your final words and advice, your message to young people in Limpopo that might be watching now,
Yeah, so we are at the National General Council. For sure, by now they've had many views in terms of what the discussions have been about. And we also want to join many others for sure and echo their words when they spoke very strongly against the issues of youth unemployment. Another thing that I wanted to just touch on organizational renewal, because I think it's part of the conversations here that are really finding strong expression on organizational renewal, because we're very concerned as an organization of the Youth League about the state of the ANC in general, and our role is to mobilize young people behind the journey of the ANC and to also champion their interests. The message that I'll just pass is that we really need to unite as young people. We can't be the change that we want to see in our country as long as if we just unite. We need a united voice of young people so that we turn things around. The issues that we are facing and all those things, if as young people we come together and united, we can champion them very well, and also call upon young people to continue fighting for access and space everywhere. Like we always say that we want them in various strategic positions so that we can take the country forward. It relies on us, it relies in our hands. So that is what we need to do. And another thing, yeah, we've been disturbed, but like I was saying, that we are calling on young people to join in hands and we work together so that we advance our interests as young people and change the things around in our country and fix all our challenges and problems. It's doable. It needs a united generation. It needs young people who can really stand up and take over every corner, every space we occupy, and we make sure that we are united. Because one thing that has been done to us as young people was to get divided. No, not divided, but defocused. You see young people entering into spaces of drugs, substance abuse. They've been taken over by many things that are, part of social ills. But if we can really come back together and say, can we put our minds together? Let's see how we rescue our economy so that it is back to our hands as South Africans. We will then achieve a lot.
Faith, thank you so much for coming through. Alatale di potole mafetho mo we gape ga le gesa je bo swap.
Akatale.
Aba ga le gesa je le kaku.
Ke bile worried to go back le mo na le 5 days now yo.
O sa je le kaku.
Sa je ba gobe.
Bogobe.
So ya go bima.
Awa, are boela ga isont.
Actually the fish re bone di career.
Are boela ga isont ga wa ge jore je. Ro ya le kaku ka morwa mo khusha.
Guys kuku. Can it.
Thank you. Well, that is our show, and of course we are talking to Faith, who is the provincial chairperson in Limpopo. Of course it's the Youth League and it is their time now, and of course this generation needs to grow to become leaders of the African National Congress in the future. And of course we're going to be crossing over to another segment of the show, which is a video that will be playing on the screen. Don't go away. Is the video of the president of the African National Congress and of course the president of the country as well. This video is going to be showing right now anytime soon, and thanks to every guest that has been on the show. Let's take a look at this video right now. Bye-bye.
Comrade President of the ANC Youth League, Colin Malachi, the officials of the ANC Youth League, and all delegates to your National General Council. I am so delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate you all for holding what I